called as Shringar Vat, and we have the association of His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. So let us welcome Maharaj again amongst our midst by loudly chanting 3 times. So I am sure not all of those who are in Rangadevi group are here. We are around 850 supposed to be, but we are around maybe 300. So there are few announcements, some important announcements. Haribol. Being the first day, a bit of orientation. Some of you had some difficulties with monkeys. Yes? Yeah. So some announcements so that next 7 days we have a peaceful yatra. There are the places where we will go now. Radha Damodar after the lecture and Radha Sham Sundar. The monkeys are very notorious. They used to take away spectacles. Now they take away anything that they can grab on, even mobiles. So please be careful. In the evening, after we go back and then we'll have our lunch. And in the evening, the katha starts in the pandal around 5 o'clock. But we should reach the pandal around 4:30, and so that the katha can start on time. And while the katha is going on, we would want all of you to be attentive, even here as well as in the pandal. There are some shops there, so please don't go around shopping. That does not give a good signal. And we encourage even all the devotees to be in the Katha Pandal. We have a very big Katha Pandal, and if for those who can't hear the lecture sitting there for various reasons, then FM is available. Even here we have the lecture going on FM. The frequency is 104. And while we are moving in the Dham, please, there is a Dham cleaning team, but we all can be part of that by not littering. So then there will be less cleaning required. At least from our side there won't be any litter. So please don't litter, use any plastics, use as much as possible reusable things. And when we go to any kund or we are not visiting the Yamuna river, although we are very close by. But wherever we are visiting, so please be very careful because some places are very slippery. And even tomorrow we will be visiting the local temples, but from tomorrow onwards or day after, we will be using buses, and the buses will leave sharp on time as we left today at 8 a.m. So the buses will not wait for anyone beyond a certain time. And while we are moving, we see that there are quite a few young devotees, but there are many senior citizens also. So we should take special care of the senior citizens, not push around, and give them space so that they can go ahead first. Even in buses, while boarding the buses, give them the front seats, and the younger devotees can take the back seats. And parents, please take care of your children. Monkeys and even many other things. And even while we are moving around, we have seen that there is a lot of rush. Karthik, Vrindavan is bustling with so many devotees, and there are few who take advantage also. And even last year yatra, we remember that many devotees lost their mobiles. So please take care, extra care of your belongings while moving around, especially in crowded places. And one very important announcement again, especially for Matajis, that please don't go around alone in Vrindavan anywhere, because some places, especially after the lecture, it's dark. So move in group as far as possible. Don't go with your any separate plans. And here, after the katha here, we will again leave from this place and go to Radha Damodar temple and then Radha Sham Sundar temple. And next 1.5 hours we'll have wonderful nectar flowing from His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari mantra. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unyalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gyamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shigata Adhikamanam Shiguro Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganam Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sya He Krishna Aruna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusri Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpa Kalurvishya Sindhu Devasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Nisaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasyatya Devasatani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, we were asked to speak about 3 of the places, or at least 2 of the places that we have so far visited. One of them, of course, we didn't really get a chance to actually visit, and that was Shringar Vat. We saw that from a distance as we were passing. And the second place is Madan Mohan Mandir. I think we're going to Sham Sundar Mandir after. We'll also speak something about that. Shringar Vat. We all know the story, how this envious snake was cursed by, well, not cursed, driven out of the ocean by Garuda. And he took shelter of this lake called Vrindavan Lake, or Kaliya. Now it's known as Shringar Vat. Kaliya was, in his previous life, he was a great sage. Not a great sage, but a sage. And he came in competition with another sage. It happens. People who have the same occupation have a tendency to have some conflicts sometimes. You see that. And he became envious of this other sage, so he was cursed to take birth as an envious snake. As mentioned by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in one of his writings. So now, of course, Garuda, he was cursed also by one great sage called Subari Muni, because he was eating all the fish in this one area. And Subari Muni cursed Garuda that he could not come to this area And that was in the Jamuna River. So that Jamuna River was free from the influence of Garuda. So Kaliya, after being driven away by Garuda, he took shelter of Kaliya, now is known as Kaliya Vat. We all know the story. We saw the tree on the way here. That tree was somehow or other prophesied by Garuda, knowing that Krishna would come sooner or later to purify the whole atmosphere. Kaliya had taken shelter of the Jamuna River, and for many, many years, simply by his presence, the whole area became polluted. He was full, because they say we understand that enviousness, or the principle of envy, is full of poison. So you can see from this analogy how Garuda and Kaliya was actually just saturated with this envious nature in the form of this fire that would come out of his hoods and also out of his eyes. And polluted the whole area. Nothing could live there. All the fish were killed, all the trees around the area, except that one tree. That Garuda knew Krishna would come, and so he put some nectar, as they say, some preservative on the tree, and that tree was able to withstand the presence of Kaliya. Kaliya is there. He has 1,000 hoods. Wow. Can't imagine a snake like that. Can't imagine. And out of the 1,000, he had 101 prominent hoods. And Krishna found pleasure in those 101 prominent hoods. One day, the cowherd boys decided to drink the water from that area of the Jamuna, and they all died. Krishna saw his friends now no longer lifeless. But Krishna, he can't tolerate his friends no longer being there, so he glanced over them and brought them back to life. Now Krishna wants to teach Kaliya some lesson. So Krishna climbs up on this tree and jumps high in the air. It was much more than that. That was just like a little splash. Krishna he did a can opener, one of those. He just did the water went up. Kaliya's on the other end of the lake. He could see that there's some disturbances. Some waves are coming, and somebody's in my lake. And Krishna's just swimming around and having a nice time. And so Kaliya comes and sees, who's this person? He's actually in my territory. Being envious, the quality of envious is that you have a tendency to want to control everything. Everything you have, you want to control, and everything other people have that you like, you also want to enjoy. So seeing Krishna, Kaliya decided to do something. So he came with his many hoods, and of course tentacles, and he grabbed, first, you know what he did? He actually bit Krishna right on the chest. I mean, for Krishna, that was just like a little mosquito just going this way and that way. But he did it really hard. Well, Krishna wasn't affected by that, but he was thinking, this is not good. And then Kaliya grabbed him in his tentacles and kept him there. And Krishna just stayed there. He allowed the snake to hold him. And during that time, there were so many omens, inauspicious omens that were all over Vrindavan. And the cowherd men, Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men start seeing all these different omens. And something inauspicious. Krishna had been away. Balaram wasn't with Krishna that day, so they were thinking now, Balaram always protects Krishna, being his older brother, and that was his service, to make sure nothing happened to Krishna. And now the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, are thinking, where's Krishna? He's probably in some trouble. Maybe he's not even alive anymore. These omens indicate something really inauspicious. So they started to follow. They went out to the Jamuna, and there they saw Krishna wrapped in the coils of this Kaliya snake. Mother Yasoda, she also came. And she was beside herself with anxiety. Oh, my dear Lal, he's dying. She was thinking, I'm going to save him. She didn't have any regard for her own self. She wanted to jump in a Jamuna. But Balaram was there. He knew there's no problem with Krishna. So Balaram glanced. His glance was very special. It was no small. This wasn't just a glance. It had a certain force behind it. And Mother Yasoda could not go into the river. He protected her by her glance. And now when Krishna's there, and now the cowherd boys, and they're also on the bank, and the cowherd men, everyone's in anxiety. The gopis also come. Everybody's watching Krishna being enveloped in his coils. And then the anxiety is even greater and greater. And Krishna is saying, oh, all my associates, they're full of anxiety because of me. Krishna did this in order to increase their love. Is it possible to increase the love of the Brajabasis for Krishna? They say it is not, but what it is, it just exhibits that love in a very wonderful way, and it glorifies them for that loving attachment to Krishna. So, now, Krishna is saying, well, maybe this is too much anxiety for my associates. So he decides to break out. So he was in the coils for 2 hours, 2 full hours. Now he breaks out, and Kali is saying, what's happening? So now Kali tries to restrain him. But Krishna is not going to tolerate Kali anymore. So Krishna decides, it's time to dance. So Krishna jumps up on one of the hoods, and the hoods are moving this way and that way. But Krishna is so expert dancer. He's dancing from one hood to another, and he's not missing a step. He's actually trying some new steps out. Said that, that the Lord likes to once in a while experiment with some new dance steps just to, try them out. So that was, but there was another thing, the gopis are there. So the gopis are also watching, and Krishna's thinking, oh, the girls are watching me dance. And it says that boys like to show off in front of girls. So where do you get that propensity from Krishna? Krishna is the original show-off. So he's dancing very nicely, and the gopis are watching, and Krishna is just trying to impress them by his unique forms of dance. Can you imagine seeing Krishna dance? Can't imagine. You've seen so many dance, Bharatanatyam and Kali Karthik, and this dance and that dance. We also see, when we dance in Kirtan, we create some new kind of dances. Nobody knows what they are. The ladies, they dance very nice, but the men, they dance like, if you take a potato and you roll it, you're not sure which way it's going to go. Well, as time was going on, things were getting better. The potatoes are becoming more round. Anyway, so we dance in different ways, Sometimes we don't dance, it looks like dancing, but it's something else. And so this is going on, and now Krishna is enjoying. But what's happening to Kaliya, because with Krishna's dancing, he's hitting his head really hard. Krishna's feet are so soft that when the gopis think of how soft Krishna's feet are, and he has to walk in Vrindavan, and there's many pebbles and sticks on the ground, and they touch Krishna's lotus feet, the gopis think, oh my God, what pain he must be feeling. And they're experiencing so much anxiety thinking of the pain that Krishna has because his feet are so soft that they actually faint. This This is the gopis' love for Krishna. But those same feet that are butter soft were dancing on Kaliya's head and just devastating him. And as they were dancing, he's vomiting all this fire and poison coming out of his mouth. But what's happened? He's becoming purified. He's becoming purified. So Krishna's dancing more and more and more. Kaliya looks like he's not going to last very much longer. But guess who comes along? Nagapati, saved by the wife. Yeah, they say the wife is the better half, right? Okay. So the wives come, and they all come, and they say, "My dear Lord, we know he's such an envious snake, but still he's our husband. And please don't destroy him. We need him, although he is such a rascal." So many words, they actually said that. Nothing said, that's a paraphrase. And so as they're offering beautiful, beautiful prayers, first they offer prayers trying to save their husbands. They say, we know what he's like. He's envious, he's a snake. And if you destroy him, we'll be widows, and so that's not good. We'll have to find another snake husband. So this goes on, and finally Krishna realizes, all right, these ladies are very devoted, and they also need their husbands. So Krishna lets off a little. Kaliya is okay now. He's not okay, but he's pretty much, he can't do anything but, he's just trying to recover from the dance. And then the Nagapatis offer beautiful, beautiful, beautiful prayers, just glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And finally, after the prayers, then Krishna says to Kaliya starts offering prayers also. And he realizes after all his poison was exuded from his body, he actually became purified. In that purified state, he offered beautiful prayers to the Lord. And the Lord said, "Now I accept your prayers, but you can't stay here. You can't stay. This is Vrindavan. This is no place for you. So where can I go? You should go to the ocean. If I go to the ocean, I'll be destroyed by Garuda." The Lord says, "Nothing. Don't worry. When Garuda sees the footprints, my footprints on your head, he will not harm you in any way." So then Kaliya, along with his wives, they left, and he went into the ocean. Krishna performed this wonderful lila, and Kaliya was not a demon. Like many of the demons, Krishna killed many demons. Kaliya wasn't killed. He was actually a great sage in his last life that committed a huge offense to another great sage. And so Krishna spared him and actually purified him. And it says, Prabhupada talks about Kaliya now, and you hear it on the tape. Prabhupada says, Kaliya is still on this planet. He's in Fiji. And even people who are islanders in one of the areas of Fiji say that there is this cave where there's multi-headed snake is living in this cave. Very few people can actually go there and see him, but Prabhupada said he's still there living in the Fiji Islands. So Krishna is very merciful, purified him, and he actually gave him his special mercy. Another place we were just there was the Madan Mohan Temple. Jayate Suratam Pangur Mamamanda Nadir Gati Matsavasya Madambo Jo Radhanambo. So Madan Mohan Temple, one of the original Goswami temples, established by Sanatana Goswami. There's a beautiful story connected with the Madan Mohan Devi. It goes way back to when Krishna was here on the planet. When Krishna was here, and then after Krishna finished his earthly pastimes, he decided to leave the material world. And before he did, he established King Yudhisthira on the throne. And when King Yudhisthira was on the throne and now Krishna was no longer on the planet, King Yudhisthira could not bear the separation and did not want to rule the world anywhere. So he established Maharaj Parikshit on the throne. And Maharaj Parikshit's grandson, Radhanath, he made him king of Mathura. And he also told him to resurrect the pastimes of Krishna when he was here in all the holy places. So we hear a lot about Radhanath, but how did he get the power? He was thinking, this is an amazing service. How am I going to do that? I don't have any idea where these places are. And so he meditated strongly. And he went onto a kalpavriksha tree in the Jamuna, and he entered very deeply into prayer. At that time, Radha and Krishna entered into his heart and revealed to him all the places that Krishna had performed his pastime. Later on, Radhanath decided to commission deities to be established in these holy places. And so he contacted Vishwakarma, demigods, and asked him to carve deities. And theirs were the three main deities of Vrindavan. Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath were carved by Vishwakarma. Uttara, the mother of Maharaj Parikshit, when she saw these deities, she made some exclamation, where she said, when she saw Madan Mohan, she said, oh, his feet are exactly like the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When she saw Govindaji, he said, oh, his chest is actually like the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when she saw Gopinath, said his lotus face was actually the ideal replica of the face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For many years, Madan Mohan remained unmanifested. But then Advaita Charya came, and Advaita Charya, he actually discovered underneath the Jamuna tree the deity of Madan Mohan. And he worshipped that deity for so many years. Advaita Charya then decided to leave, and he decided to give this deity to a very pure Brahmin whose name was Purushottam Chaubey. Purushottam Chaubey was just a very pure devotee of the Lord. Now having this deity, he worshipped this deity. One day, Sanatana Goswami came to Vrindavan, and Purushottam Chaubey met Sanatana Goswami and invited him to come for lunch. And so he came to the home, but before he offered prasad, he said, now you should come and see my deity. But he made the lunch offering, and he offered it to his deity, which was Madan Gopal, Madan Mohan. And then, after offering it, he became very angry at the deity. He picked up a stick and started chastising Madan. Why you're not eating? I cooked this for you and you're not eating. You better eat. So he got a stick and he was chastising the deity. Sanatana Goswami was thinking, what is this? This is not the way you treat the Lord. And so, very carefully, he started to instruct him on how you should worship the deity. Purushottam Chaubey realized, oh, I made a mistake. And so he apologized. And now his mood was different. But Madan Gopal didn't like that. So when Sanatana Goswami went to take rest that evening, Madan came in a dream and said, you know, he's worshipping me in the mood of Vatsalya Ras, and I'm really enjoying that. Now you ruined everything. So even Goswamis make mistakes. A spiritual mistake, which is not. It actually leads to a higher realization. But then the Lord said, but actually Purushottam Chandra will now take me and give it to you, and you can worship me and establish a temple for me. So that deity was established by Sanatana Goswami. We saw the beautiful temple. There's a 60-foot high temple. Of course, now we have a replica of that in Govardhan Echo Village, exact replica of the temple, and practically the exact replica of the deity of Sri Sri Madan Mohan. So I have a question. Madan Mohan is the personification of the lotus feet of the Lord. Govindaji is a personification or perfect expression of the chest of the Lord. And Gopinath, is the beautiful smiling face of the Lord. Which deity embodies all three of those? Radha. Is that right? Okay. I know you all knew the answer, but Radha, Sri Radha Ramanji. And I think we'll go to that. That'll be in a couple days, 2 days, I think. And but Sanatana Goswami was poor. He couldn't maintain Madana Gopal so nicely. So he used to keep him in a tree, and he would beg. And he would beg some rotis, or he would beg some, chickpeas. Whatever he would beg, and that was all he would even eat. So he would offer everything to Madan. But one day Madan said to Sanatana Goswami, "You're giving me chapatis, can you spare a little salt?" And then I think the next statement by Sanatana Goswami says, if I give you salt, then you're going to ask for something else. Just be satisfied. So that's, but then of course later on, Sanatana Goswami commissioned this merchant who was a salt merchant, and he actually built that temple, or actually arranged for the building of the Madan Mohan Mandir. How did Radharani appear? That's also interesting. The son of King Pratiparudra, Govinda Jana, he thought it would be nice that the day that these deities have the presence of Srimati Radharani. So he arranged for 2 deities of Radharani to be sent to the Madan temple. Now, when the deities came there, I can remember exactly how it happened. In a dream, Srimati Radharani appeared to Sanatana Goswami and said, "These deities are not, only one of them is me, the other one is Lalita, I'm the smaller one. So the bigger one is Lalita. You establish Lalita on the right side of Madan, and you put me on the left side." So Radharani directed. And so you can see those deities, they're the bigger deity, if you remember the darshan, it's Lalita, and then Radharani is on the left side of Madan, like that. haven't gone there yet. I believe we're going to Radhasham Sundar Temple. That's next. Okay. It's a beautiful story. Radha Damodar. Both temples. And Radha Damodar and Radhasham Sundar. Okay. So in the Radhasham Sundar Temple, that was established by Shamananda Pandit. That is a beautiful story. How many of you have been to Ambika Kalna? You know, Ambika Kalna is the place of Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit was the guru of Hridaya Chaitanya, and Hridaya Chaitanya was the spiritual master of, at that time he was known as Dukhi Krishna Das. Later he became Shamananda by the grace of Srimati Radharani. But Hridaya Chaitanya, he told his disciple Dukhi Krishna Das to go to Vrindavan and study under Srila Jiva Goswami, and also live in Vrindavan and become, purified by the atmosphere of Vrindavan and do seva. So under the guidance of Jiva Goswami, he worked, and Jiva Goswami was really pleased with him, so he gave him the service of cleaning the area which is Vamsivat, where Krishna and Radharani appear each night and perform their leelas in an unmanifested way. So this was his service. He was cleaning the area and making the areas nice for the Lord's pastimes. So one day, when he was cleaning, he noticed something really bright and shining stuck in one of the branches of one of the little creepers that was on the ground. It was so beautiful. He came over and he picked it. It was an ankle bracelet. And, oh, this is not an ordinary ankle bracelet. This is not lost by some ordinary person. It must be some very special person. So he decided to keep it and tried to find that person. Just at the same time, Srimati Radharani, she said to Lalita, last night, when we were at Vamsivat and I was with Krishna, the dance became so enthusiastic that I just lost my ankle bracelet, frankly. And I really would like to get that back because it's very special. Please see if you can find it. So Lalita disguised herself as an elderly lady, and she went looking around the grove, and she's looking this way and that way. Now, Dukhi Krishna Das is seeing this elderly lady looking everywhere, and then he gets a little concerned. He approaches this lady, he says, Mataji. He didn't say Mataji, but he said, my dear elderly lady, I can see you lost something. What did you lose? She said, I didn't lose something, but I'm coming here on behalf of my master. I'm her maidservant, and she has lost her ankle bracelet. Did you see it? Well, actually, I have it. Oh, you have it. But who is your master? Well, actually, Radharani. No. And who are you? My name is Lalita. You don't look like Lalita. I am. So you have to explain to me actually how you have to describe this ankle bracelet. So she described it so perfectly. But still, he was not willing to give up the ankle bracelet. Finally, Radharani came, and Radharani was there. And then, when he saw Radharani, he lost consciousness. Got back to consciousness. Lalita also, she had transferred her form into her original form. He lost consciousness again. And so, when he was so overwhelmed with love, when he actually saw that he actually could do some service for Srimati Radharani and Lalita Devi, that he offered to brace that ankle bracelet back to Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani was so pleased. It was a little small service he did, but she took it as a grand service that he did. So she took the ankle bracelet and just pushed it into his head and made a beautiful tilak. And she says, and now you have served me so nicely. Therefore, you have given pleasure to me, so I want to give you the name Shamananda, one who gives pleasures to Shama. So now Radharani blessed him. And then he was also feeling separation from his spirit, from Jiva Goswami and from his spiritual master. So now Radharani also, when he disappeared, they disappeared, and then the separation was too intense. Realizing the intensity of the separation, Radharani performed a miracle, and from that ankle bracelet actually appeared a deity, manifested from the ankle bracelet itself. And that's the deity of Shamsundar. So that temple will go to see Radha Sham. So that's a self-manifesting deity that came actually by the grace of Srimati Radharani. Now he has a new name, and he's been blessed by Srimati Radharani. When he comes back, he's completely different. Jiva Goswami recognizes what happened to him. He looks so blissful. And then he explains the whole story to Jiva Goswami. But Jiva Goswami said, don't tell anyone else. And actually Radharani also said that. You should not tell anyone but Jiva Goswami. But later on, when he left Vrindavan, he went back to his spiritual master, Hridaya Chaitanya. Now he has a tilak marking that is unusual, beautiful, but nothing like the ordinary tilak marking. And now he has a name, Shamananda. So Hridaya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hridaya Chaitanya was concerned that Jiva Goswami had reinitiated his disciple. So he sent a letter to Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami said, I didn't reinitiate him. He's been blessed by Srimati Radharani. But Hridaya Chaitanya wanted more than that. So he became angry at his disciple. He said, where did you get that name? Where did you get that tilak? But he swore that he would not speak anything. And so he started to beat him and chastise him. But still, Shamananda, who was formerly Dukkha Krishna, didn't say anything. That night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the dream of Hridaya Chaitanya and said, actually, he's been blessed by Srimati Radharani, so it is okay. So don't chastise him. But the next morning when he woke up, he felt so bad how much he had chastised his disciple. He fell at the feet of his disciple Shamananda and begged forgiveness and offered prayers and said, actually, you're my spiritual master. You have been blessed by Srimati Radharani alone. So therefore I take shelter of you. Of course, Shamananda didn't accept that, but he wanted to glorify his disciple for having received such great mercy from Srimati Radharani. And then, of course, so we're also going to Sri Radha Damodar temple. This is the month of Damodar. This is a very auspicious time, especially having been coming here in Vrindavan. It says that whatever devotional service one performs during the month of Karthik, one gets double the amount of spiritual credits, but when one comes to the Holy Land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, that devotional service is unlimitedly multiplied hundreds and hundreds of times. So devotees are nectar seekers. We're always looking to gain as much mercy as we can. So coming to the holy land of Vrindavan during this time and worshipping the Lord and in his beautiful form as Sri Sri Radha Damodar, a beautiful pastime. I think probably Radhanath Maharaj will speak about that pastime in one of his lectures, so I won't say anything. But we'll be going to Radha Damodar temple quite soon. So that's about all I really was supposed to say. Should I speak something else if we have enough time? Anything? Yeah, we have more time? Okay. What can I speak about? The holy name? Srila Prabhupada. Want to hear a little funny story? It's true. Now, sometimes in our Hare Krishna movement, we have a tendency when new devotees come to the temple, we like to send them out on books right away without instructing them about the philosophy. That happens. So they did this to one young man. So he's out on books, and he doesn't know so much, but he's trying his best. So he approaches one gentleman, and he's trying to sell a book. The man is listening. He takes the book, he looks at the book, turns it over, sees a picture of Srila Prabhupada on the back, and says, and he reads it, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. So the man looks at the bookseller and says, what does A.C. mean? And the devotee says, always cool. He didn't know, but he actually took it on a higher level. So yeah, this Prabhupada is always cool. That reminds me of another story. When Prabhupada was preaching in, I think it was in Chicago, Prabhupada was attacked because he was talking about women's liberation, and he was getting attacked by the women's liberation ladies. So one reporter was just firing questions at Prabhupada. And she was just challenging him on everything. She was wearing a mini skirt. This was back in the 60s. 70s, I'm sorry. And so finally she had to ask that question. Why do you shave your head? And Prabhupada said, it is better to have cool head and warm legs instead of hot head and cold legs. And Prabhupada always had the right answer. And Prabhupada always, if you listen to Srila Prabhupada, how he answers the questions that are given to him by his devotees when they discuss philosophical things, it's most amazing. You would never think how Prabhupada would respond to these different questions. Prabhupada's knowledge was so deep in philosophical realization. When he speaks, you can actually see, he's actually seeing the answers as he's speaking the answers. It's like a realization. Prabhupada's so clear on everything he explains. We're listening to Prabhupada, we never have any doubts about the whole process of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes people say, what attracts, one of the things they ask me sometimes, what attracted you to Prabhupada? And I can think so many things, but the most outstanding thing that attracted me into Prabhupada is that when he spoke something, it was never like, perhaps, maybe, it's like this is it. He spoke with such surety, such conviction, after some time, such realization, that you had no doubt that anything he said, even though you didn't understand it completely, you understood that what he was saying was the absolute truth. Even if it was some general statement that had to do with something philosophical and not so transcendental. That was Prabhupada. So the Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple is the place where Srila Prabhupada actually began the movement coming to the west. He lived at the Radha Damodar temple, and his rooms are still there. They're not in the same state of affairs as they were when Srila Prabhupada was there, but they're still there. They're a little bit more modernized now. But when Prabhupada was living there, it was just a mud floor, and everything was very simple. There was just a wooden bed inside, and one little place for sitting. And Prabhupada put together the Srimad Bhagavatam purports in Sri Sri Radha Damodar in the early 1960s before he came to the West. So that temple is very special in the sense that it was blessed by Srila Prabhupada's presence for many, many years. He was there for almost 5 years. And he was preparing for his mission. When Prabhupada was in the West, and he was in Los Angeles, this was around 1975, 1976. Prabhupada was sitting with a few of his devotees, and Prabhupada was reflecting on how he used to live in Vrindavan. And he said, "Oh, do you remember?" He was talking to some devotees that had been with him in Vrindavan. "Do you remember how nice it was when I was in Vrindavan? I was so happy living in the Sri Sri Radha Damodar temple. It was so nice. I long to go back there." And Prabhupada stopped, but he said, "For me, that's sense gratification." He was teaching a very important principle that our service is the highest. We come to Vrindavan, we come to absorb the mercy of Vrindavan, take the dust of Vrindavan, place it on our heads or any part of our body, get the mercy of the great souls who live in Vrindavan. But it's all about going back to our respected places and actually preaching Krishna consciousness and bringing the mood of Vrindavan to the Western world. As Prabhupada said, the Western world is uncivilized. Sometimes we look and we think civilization means modern buildings and cars and so many amenities that make life easy or fast. But we can see that there is a shallowness in the lives of people, that there's something very essential missing. What is that missing principle? That they pushed God out and then replaced him with all these nice ways to live comfortably and find more and more different types of spiritual sensual enjoyment. So people are suffering. When you come here to Vrindavan, things are so basic. There's cows everywhere, there's mud everywhere, there's everything. It's very simple, but still, this is civilization. Why? Civilization means, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental forms of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, in the mood that is taught by Srila Prabhupada in the mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Now this is actually civilization. I just came yesterday and I was thinking, boy, I don't want to leave. You have that same feeling? The more you stay here, the more you want to stay here. But then we think, well, we do have our services. And that's the most important thing, our service to Krishna, our service to our spiritual master. So, therefore, we come here to become, what we say, to make more spiritual advancement and carry that with us in a way that we can be an instrument for the mercy of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan, but he brought Vrindavan everywhere in the world. And because of that, the world has a chance, at least, to understand what is the real value of life and how to achieve that value. Okay, so thank you very much for your patience, tolerance. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Radha Mohan ki, Sri Radha Shamsundar ji ki, Sri Radha Gopinath ji ki, Sri Radha Govinda ji ki, Sri Harinam Shankirtan ki, Premanande.
Hare Krishna, let us thank His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj by loudly chanting 3 times. So, some important announcements. Please be seated. Those who are going out, I request them to kindly come inside and hear these announcements. Yeah. So, how many of you are on the WhatsApp group? So almost all of you. Yeah. So from here, as Maharaj announced, we will be proceeding first to Radha Damodar temple. So as we go out from here, so on the right hand side there is a small passage, narrow passage. We'll go, and then when we reach the main road, then we just take a right turn, and then we come to Radha Damodar. Due to Karthik and Radha Damodar temple being special place, Damodar Bhagwan and the Damodar month, so there will be lot of rush. So we request all the devotees to stay as much as possible together, which is a difficult thing, but we will try as much as possible to stay together. That place, as you mentioned earlier, is especially very notorious because of the monkeys. So please take care of your belongings, especially your spectacles and your other things which you are carrying in your hand, probably sometimes speed bag also. And please take care of your belongings because there is a lot of rush, so there may be some pickpockets. So be very, very conscious of Krishna and also your Krishna's paraphernalia. And Radha Damodar temple, you all know that there are many smaller places to see and visit. As soon as we enter inside, on the right hand side, there is the rooms of Srila Prabhupada, the 2 rooms, and because that place is very narrow, if we were to, all of us, if we were to take darshan, then we may not reach Pandal at 5 p.m. So you have to be really, very, brisk in your darshan, and you can come again anytime later during the yatra, during the afternoons, sacrificing the rest, and then you can come here. There is so what we can do is, what I can do now is I can give a brief darshan virtual, so you can when you enter inside what things are where, and then you take darshan and then go to Radha Shamsundar temple. So as soon as we enter inside, on the right hand side there are these 2 rooms of Srila Prabhupada, the place where Prabhupada used to stay, and the kitchen. And in the front there are these deities of Radha Damodar and Radha Madhav, Radha Chai Chicken, like that, Radha Vrindavan Chandra. And in the temple itself, the pujari will show one Govardhan Shila, which has the footprints of Krishna, the calf, and a print of flute. And this is the Shila which Sanatana Goswami later in his old age used to just take 4 pradakshina, and that would be like a Govardhan Parikrama. So, I know some of you will attempt the 4 rounds, so that's why I mentioned this. If you want, you can, but at your own risk and time. And then when we enter inside, on the right hand side, a small passage leads to the samadhis. There are many samadhis, including Samadhi of Jeev Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Srila Prabhupada. And then we go around behind the temple doing parikrama and then enter into a courtyard on the right hand side of the temple, where we have the Samadhi of Rup Goswami and the Bhajan Kutir of Rup Goswami. That place is now covered. It used to be open previously, but now it's covered in a hall. And then there will be again lot of devotees there. So be very mindful, be together, take darshan briskly, and then come again inside the courtyard. And when you come out again on the road, then you go right hand side, and then that's where Shyam Sundar temple is. So our volunteers will be there with you, but just so that you know where to go. And after these 2 temples darshan, then we go back to the pandal. The prasadam starts at 12 noon or 12:30 p.m. So based on and this whole place is also a very crowded place, being Loi Bazaar. So be also extra cautious with the pickpockets and other things. And then from here you can get your rickshaws, whatever, and you can reach back to the pandal. So this is the darshans today, and please check your WhatsApp groups. The announcements we will be regularly posting there, so that our time for the katha can get saved. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. So this place, Shringar Vat, Maharaj mentioned briefly about it, but you see this tree, a small portion of the tree. So this is the Shringar Vat. So it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Nityananda Prabhu, he came to Vrindavan and he was waiting in this place before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Harinam Sankirtan. So in the initial years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living like an Imai Pandit, not inaugurated the holy name, the Sankirtan. And so Nityananda Prabhu was waiting here till Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would begin, so that he would have the service of assisting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Harinam Sankirtan. So this is this place. This place is also called as Shringar Vat because here again under this tree, Krishna, after the last Leela dance, so he came here, Srimati Radharani was here, and he was braiding the hair and decorating the hair of Srimati Radharani. So the name Shringar Vat. There is some paintings in this temple on the right hand side, and this is the Shringar Vat tree, and we saw the darshan of Gaur Vidai. So this is a very special place. You can all pray to Nityananda Prabhu, and this is where we have also inaugurated our parikrama this year. So Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Chandramauli Swami Maharaj ki